Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
Hello, I'm Chinta STRAUSBERG, producer and host of On the Case, and I love that commercial because we're talking about unity and love, and to share that. And if we do, we can absolutely win everything. Despite what's going on in this nation, we can win if we stick together. And if we reach out to those who are independent, those who are left out, we can bring things together and we can win on November 3rd. And I really do believe that so much. So much is going on. I have a guest coming on in a few minutes, and he is Isaac Lewis, and he is publisher of The Voice and the North Lawndale Community News. So we're going to go West Side tonight. I know a lot of people over there say West Side is the best side. Some say South Side is the best side. For years, I have tried to get both sides together because together we can be a power force in this city. But the boundaries, the wards, they're like individual turfs, and it shouldn't be that way. We should be one. And that's a hard concept and a goal that I had when I was at another newspaper that I tried so very hard to do. But there's this mistrust, and one is better than the other, and it really shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't be the way. There's a lot going on in this world right now with the war of choice. They use that term in the media, but it's really Trump's choice. It was his choice with his friend Netanyahu in Israel, and it was a favor. It was like a payback. They made some agreement, and now he can't wiggle out of it. He's tried, but it's not that easy. It's not that easy. And then to ask for $200 billion more, and after they've spent billions already from February the 28th, $1 billion a day, what can we do with that kind of money in America? He's neglecting his own here. But then, of course, he is the president of the red states, and we've never had a president like that. Vindictive. Very vindictive. And I'm really sorry about that. I do apologize for him because he is ruining our reputation as a world leader. We're laughed at now. And everyone knows, that he is mentally incapable of being in that job. So why are they keeping him there? Why? And his ratings are so terribly low. I think it's like 62% or 32%, something like that. It's very, very low, the lowest ever. Yet, these Republican lawmakers are still hanging on to every word that he says, every order that he gives. And this remap, the Supreme Court has dealt an awful blow to all of us. An awful blow. And it's taken us back 60 years. It was one of Trump's goals, and he got his wish, but I still think we can win if we reach out to liberal whites. In slavery, remember, whites helped, the abolitionists helped us to get over this whole thing of slavery. So it's possible. And Latinos and other Asians, other people of color, and students. We have to get the young people involved because they're not involved enough. I don't think they really understand what we're going through right now. And if we just reach out to those at the bottom, we can rise to the top. I honestly do believe that. I honestly believe that. And Hamida Carr just called in, watching. Thank you so much for watching. Awful abolition now. So I'd like to ask those who are listening, what can we do? Naima, Namida, is it? Oh no, Hamida Hakar. What do you suggest that we do? If you can just give me an answer on that. I mean, I don't have all of the answers, but I'm looking and searching for an answer because I know that God didn't put us here to go back 60 years. You know, Dr. King gave his life for this. Reverend Jesse Jackson gave his life to this. So many others have died and got killed just for voting. And it hurts my heart when African Americans tell me my vote doesn't count. Yes, it does count. Every single count. Every single vote counts. So I don't know. I'm just looking for answers right now. Just answers. Because there's a solution out there somewhere. And Yusuf Jackson is taking over his dad's Rainbow Push Coalition. He is working so very hard. And I do want all of you to support him. He needs the support. Our black press needs support. Black press like the Voice and the North Lawndale Community News on the west side, and the Chicago Crusader on the south side, and other newspapers. We are all struggling in the black media because all of the money for ads are going to white-owned newspapers, and they always tell us, well, you don't have the circulation. Well, of course, we don't have the money to have the circulation. So share the ad. If you share the ads with the black press and the Latino press, it would be fairer. But it hasn't been that way. Not even with the Democratic National Convention, the ads were sparse, if any. So I think our guest is coming in. I see his name and I see his face. Isaac, are you there? Okay, so we're still working on that. Isaac, are you there? All right. So let's see, Isaac. Let's see. Let me put two here. Isaac. All right, he'll be here shortly.
Go out of the studio and come back.
I'm sorry.
How do I go out of the studio?
Okay, so while they're fixing that, Isaac is a tremendous person, a powerful force on the west side. He has taken over the Voice that used to be headed by Brad Cummings. You remember Brad Cummings for years. He was like a one-man show, the writer, the publisher. He fought for ads, but he was died in a fire, a horrible fire last June. June of 2025, I think it was. And it was just so sad. He couldn't get out. He couldn't get out. The fire just consumed him. What a horrible way to go. But he loved the black community, and his presence is lost. But we still have Isaac Lewis, and we should support our black press. I can't stress that enough. You know, the black press is really like a gold mine if it's run properly. If it's run properly and you have the right people heading it, it can be a force that everyone listens to, and that all the corporations will come and take out an ad. What is so bad about taking out an ad in the black press? It is saying that you care. It is saying that you are responsible, but mostly fair. So I just hope that one day that I can come up with a solution. I'm always looking for solutions, and some of them work. But this thing with uniting the South Side with the West Side has been almost impossible for me. And I hate to even say that, but I have tried. I'm not going to give up. Absolutely not going to give up. And I know a lot of people ask me, well, why do you write for the black press? Why are you so much in love with the black press? it was because I wasn't taught about Black history as a child at home or in school. And I had to go to the University of Chicago to take a course, and it was a cultural shock. It really was, because we were so protected as children. And I just want to be able to share that knowledge of Black history with other children and some adults too. I don't know. And I turned down other jobs in white newspapers because I felt that they would not let me write the way I want to write, not tell the stories and find the stories that I have been able to do. And after talking to a lot of Black journalists, I know I made the right decision. It is a terrible, terrible sacrifice, but it's the life I chose. And I finally got my family to understand that after all these years. Some of them think I'm crazy, but they understand my passion for the Black news. And I'm just hoping that all of you would take out subscriptions, because they're not that, even with the Crusader, is only $35. And when Isaac comes on, I'm going to find out how much it costs to get a subscription for The Voice and the North Lawndale Community News. They've been around for a very, very long time. All right. So it's just, I've been reading the news all day, and I don't understand. Maybe you can explain why there are so many Republican lawmakers, especially in the House, who are so willing to do everything that Trump says. Everything. I mean, this man even went against Pope Leo. You ever heard of a president picking a fight with a pope as if he were king of the world? That was amazing. And I'm so proud of Pope Leo, the way he handled him and the way he keeps talking about peace. It shows a stark contrast between the two, because Trump is a war hawk. Even though, remember, when he ran for president, he said that he was not going to start any new wars, that he was going to be a man of peace. He's anything but a man of peace. So we're going to take a break, and we will be back with more right after this. And maybe by the time Isaac Lewis will be able to come on. All right.
In which we're doing this documentary for, Douglas Robinson, your death will not be in vain.
He was a heck of a great dude.
And I love Doug. Doug loved me.
Just being around him, he had a good spirit. He was a healing person.
They are there.
Get SROs back.
When you give to the poor,
should not be forced out of their neighborhoods when it goes through a period of transformation.
because there are too many people who are losing their homes to taxes because they can't pay a $1,000 tax bill.
Peace and love. I'm Michelle Renee, host of Education Nation, live on the Female Solution Global Network every second and fourth Sunday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. The intention of Education Nation is to raise awareness about the literacy crisis and to offer information to combat the problem. The goal is to awaken an army of reading coaches and mentors. You will experience guests who are doing their part in the community to ensure youth in their circles are reading and thinking critically. I look forward to serving you in this capacity. Literacy is freedom, and Education Nation will offer information and strategies to help ensure our young people stay free.
We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you.
I don't understand this.
Okay, we're back. I'm Chinta STRAUSBERG, producer of On the Case, and my guest is Isaac Lewis. He is publisher of The Voice and the North Lawndale Community Newspapers. That's on the west side. Can you hear me now, Isaac?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Welcome to On the Case. Okay, so now tell us, how did you get into the newspaper business, and why did you take over 2 newspapers?
Well, I started the newspaper because I wanted to give the community information that would link them up with resources in the community. And I got into that in a strange way. First, I wanted to provide information on fruits and vegetables and getting people to eat better, knowing that we have the highest rates of health problems.
Yes.
Especially in Chicago. And so I went, after I took this entrepreneurial training program, a 13-week program, I decided, well, there's something more immediate, because I was in a program that had like 20 computers and 30 desks, and there was only like 3 people that were attending a training program that was going to show you how to start your own business. So that was one of the projects. I decided to link people up with the resources in the community, because and it's still kind of prevalent now. You have these programs and they're not well attended because, well, there's multiple reasons, but one is people don't know about them.
Right.
And so I would go around to places like, city officials, government officials' offices, and libraries, and go to the information tables and see all these flyers and different things. And I was one to say, do you have an idea that you want to help the community? You need some money. And I said, bingo, yes, I do, because I had finished the entrepreneurial training program, and I had the idea, and I had the program idea, but didn't have any money to start it. So I went to this program, and one of the representatives from the community that was solicited by the Staines Family Foundation for this organization is called North Lawndale Small Grants. And she said, well, why don't you start a newsletter? And so the first thing, that was like about 15 different items on a list that they would fund, and a newsletter was one of them. So one of the things that I did was go around and get people to sign a list. First I did and found out in North Lawndale there had not been a newspaper since the North Lawndale Drum. And this was 1999 when this occurred. So I knew that there was a need. Then I went around and got community support with going in front of places like the local Walgreens or other places that had high traffic, the grocery stores, and asked people would they like to see a newspaper in the community. So I had got maybe 50 sheets with like 25 names of people who would support it. And the first grant I got was fully funded because you could get from $500 to $2,500, and I got the full $2,500 grant. And I was going to do a 1 page, 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. The front was going to be photos and text, to grab people's attention because we're video attracted or visually attracted to photos and video now. And the back is going to be full of text with information of all the resources in the community. Representative from the Staines Family Foundation, they came to me and they said, well, we think it's a great idea. I said, but we don't think 1,000 pages would be enough. We want you to expand on the idea and we'll pay for all the printing. So I said, well, I was going to do that 1,000 sheets once a month by myself, but now they're asking me to do more. And so I went, I said, I'm going to need some help. So I created flyer requests and distributed them throughout the community. I had some meetings like in 4 different locations across North Lawndale. On the west, it was Franklin Park. On the east, it was Douglas Park. And then also in the middle was like the Douglas Park Library. And I got 16 people to write for that first issue, and it came out to be 16 pages, newsletter full of information about different resources in the community. And that's how it started. It took off so well. So in our first print, it was like 5,000. And so that was like a booklet format. And so we did another one, and that was in September of 1999. In October, I found out I could do a tabloid size for a less cost than I was for that booklet. So I expanded to the tabloid size. So we did an issue in October, one in December, and then we started doing projections to increase the frequency to once a month. And then for about a year, we did once a month. Then we went to twice a month. And from there, we went to semi-monthly a year later. And then we went to weekly. So, and that's how the newspaper idea got started. And also moving from there, one of the representatives from the Stain Foundation, she had started her own organization in soccer, and so she asked me to move in an office, and so we shared the office first in the a condo on Roosevelt, or actually 13th and Central Park, and so we were there in that office together. And she found another place that was a much larger space and area, and we split it half and half. One side was North Lawndale Community News, the other side was Chicago Scores. After that, I started getting articles and handwritten information. So I started computer training to help people be able to type their stories, also to be able to do research. And we started training them with computer skills and research skills, interview skills, and photography skills, and all the things that it takes to create a community newspaper. We started doing training in those areas also.
Wow, that's a lot of work for one person.
Well, when we moved to the other office, we started. Staines had gave us a larger grant, like $75,000. So I was able to hire an assistant. Her name was Renee Gates, and she worked for me for several years. And she was originally from Detroit, but she eventually moved back to Detroit. But we started getting other grants, and so that meant more staff. Even in the early years I was distributing the newspaper by myself, and then I got the idea. I started getting paper boys and paying them to help distribute the newspaper.
Good.
So board members came on. We had board members. They also helped and assist. So it was a lot of work, and I couldn't do it by myself. There's a lot of people that came and helped throughout the 27, now going on 28 years that we've been in existence.
Wow. So what are your goals for 2026 for the newspaper?
Well, this year we took on an edition of another peer newspaper, the Austin Voice newspaper, which also published Garfield Lawndale Voice. And we were asked if we would be, I was asked if we'd be interested in taking over the Voice. Brad Cummings was the editor. Him and Isaac Jones were some of the founders. There was also Andrew that was part of that, and I hear there's another young lady. But Brad Cummings, unfortunately, was found deceased in a fire in a multi-unit building that he lived in from one of the other residents. That was a domestic abuse, and a young man had set fire to the front and back of the building. And
he threw a Molotov cocktail in there because he thought his lady, his ex-girlfriend, was dating somebody he knew or something like that.
Actually,
terrible.
Yeah, what I had found once I did some investigating was that one of his best friends had slept with the mother of his child and put it on social media. And so
he put it on social media. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that was one of the stories that I got from asking different people.
And there were several. There were children who were also killed too.
Yeah, two children and 2 adults.
Right. All over foolishness. I'm telling you, that was a sad story. I went over there and took pictures of the building and pictures of the apartment where Brad had lived, and I can imagine him trying to get out and the flames just consuming him.
Yeah, they said they found him in the bathroom.
Yeah. Yes.
So sad.
Very
and
sad.
I had just covered an event with him. I think you were out there too at the Job Corps. Remember
yes, I was there. I have a picture. That's my last picture of him.
Right.
Yes. I didn't see you there.
I was there.
Okay.
Yeah, standing next to you, you were shooting some of the pictures.
All right. So we have to take a break. We'll be back with more of Isaac Lewis right after this. We're going to take a break. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Great day. It's your girl Asada here to introduce a new female solution show called Asada Says. That's right. Every month we're going to talk about everything I am, from cryptocurrency and financial security to good health and parenting strategies. Come on and talk with me every Tuesday morning from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And let's do that thing the way Asada says it should be done. See you then. Peace, right here on the Female Solution.
When you see Black children misbehaving in public, being loud, disrespectful, and destructive, do you think to yourself, what they need is a good beating? That's what's wrong with these parents. They don't know how to discipline their children. Were you disciplined in that way? And did your parents also call you stupid, ignorant, and lazy? That's the way you break a slave. You terrorize them with constant fear of painful punishment. You teach them they're powerless to speak up, and you insult them so they feel like nothing. We were broken by parents who were broken, by parents who were broken. It's time to end the cycle of brokenness and bring healing to ourselves and our communities by using knowledge, respect, and love. We'll show you how. I'm Naima Latif. Get the book Slavery, the African American Psychic Trauma. On sale now. Go to www.naimalatif.com.
All right, I love that. Okay, we're back. I'm Chinta STRAUSBERG, producer and host of On the Case, and my guest is Isaac Lewis, and he is publisher of 2 newspapers. That's the Voice and the North Lawndale Community News. Now, you mentioned Austin too. Are you putting that paper out also?
Yes, I am.
3 newspapers.
No, it's 2. It's just 2.
Okay.
The Austin Voice and North Lawndale Community News. Those are the only 2.
All right. Now, on the South Side, we're having problems with, and hopefully we've gotten rid of the problem, but I'm not so sure with summer coming up, with teen takeovers. Does the West Side experience teen takeovers there?
We have teen takeovers, and there have been some incidents where that has happened. But, the ones that get the most attention are those downtown.
I know. So how are you handling the teen takeover on the West Side? Because I haven't read about that.
We partner with different community groups that work in the trenches and on the ground. There's Dr. Sandy Norman, and I'm thinking you might have heard of her. She's been on the news several times about these teen takeovers.
I know her. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and covering some of the things that she's been doing.
Why do you think why do you think teens are doing this? Is it just social media or lack of parenting? What do you think?
Well, some of it is thrills. And I'm thinking, but it's best to ask a team, why do they do it? And sometimes the violence or the uproar happens after they have a peaceful convening, and then once it's like a domino effect. Once some kind of upheaval starts, and it just gets wild after that. And one of the main things that helps expedite this or accelerate it is social media. They're able to communicate between each other so fast. That's why they could do the pop-ups and planning and strategy. Just figure if they had to call each other by a wired telephone, it wouldn't happen like it's happening now. Social media accelerated communication between us so fast that it can happen 1 hour from the time that it starts to spread.
That's true. That's true. All right. And so I wanted to ask you about the difference between the South Side and the West Side. Earlier, you weren't on. I hope you were listening. That I just have a passion for trying to unite the West Side with the South Side to make them one side, and I have not been able to do that.
Well, there's a great degree of separation geographically.
Yep.
That creates a barrier from being united as one. And Chicago is a divisive city by communities, also.
But it shouldn't be that way. That's where we're having problems with that remap. The lines are destroying and diluting the Black power. We're doing the same thing by remaining separated from the West Side and the South Side, saying the West Side is better than the South Side. Why can't we have one side with the boundaries?
That all that is mindset, how people think. If they start thinking in a larger capacity geographically. I got this book, Slaves of Geography. And so a lot of us become slaves of geography because we start creating a limited area of allegiance, whether it's community, West Side, Chicago, versus Detroit or versus Milwaukee or New York and Atlanta, those types of things. We tend to frame ourselves geographically. And you even have the political relationship and divisions, Democrats versus Republicans. I was just watching a biblical movie, Jesus of Nazareth, and how the Jews hated Rome, and Barabbas was having a conversation with Jesus Christ. And he said, just tell us what to do and we'll do it. Then he told him to love thy neighbor, love thy enemy, and forgive your enemy. And Barabbas couldn't get with that of forgiving and trying to become one. And that, you have some people who try to do the nonpartisan approach. And that's why we even have, political leaders that if you go to the head of the presidency, that president is usually just left of center or just right of center. Now they are becoming more and more polarized, and they got to find a way to get back to either that just left of center or just right of center.
Mm-hmm.
We can start talking to one another. I don't know how it was back in the Civil War when that happened, because but it actually created a war. that took a whole lot of lives. Now we've gotten people's lives destroyed with cancel culture and those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to watch what you say and how you say it.
Even being politically correct.
Being politically correct.
Yeah.
And sometimes being correct is a matter of preference, how you feel and think and your mindset.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's one thing. When I was a little girl, I knew that, and I learned that my mind was all that I had, and I didn't want anyone to control that but me.
Okay.
But me, I just, and maybe that's what we all need to do. We need to be our own person and to be able to reach out to others and to communicate more, not email each other more, but to talk to each other. Maybe that's the answer, to include them, to include the West Side more with the South Side and the South Side with the West Side.
Yeah, and there's a lot of relationships between South Side and West Side, but the thing that
not enough
is,
not enough,
not enough. But what I find out is possible because there are connections. I live on the West Side. I go to church on the South Side. I'm a third generation minister. My father was a minister. My mother was also a minister. My grandmother on my father's side, and my grandfather on my father's side. And so,
you're a minister?
Yes, I am.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
and you're a PK.
Say that again.
You're a PK.
Yeah, I'm a PK kid. Yes, and
I love it.
Yeah, a PK kid who was a prodigal son, who went out there on the streets and then had to change my life and turned it around. But I learned a lot because I was learning while I was doing those things that I was doing out there, and certain things I wouldn't do, because I was a PK kid.
Yes. All right, we have to take another break, our last break for this edition of On the Case. We'll be back with more with Isaac Lewis. Don't forget that name. We'll be back with more right after this.
Welcome to Master Force with Mushim Suit. Join us each week on Thursdays at 7 a.m. Central, live on Facebook and YouTube on the Female Solution page, as we dive into powerful topics designed to assist you in mastering your life force. Our conversations feature a diverse lineup of experts, all dedicated to your growth. Tune in weekly to discover new ways to elevate your spirit and raise your vibration. And remember, we are ascending.
Leaders of nonprofits empowering worlds. Let's go.
But the vision that God gave me, I felt that it was time for me to step out and work on the vision that God gave me.
We need look no further. We have a unique voice. We have a unique talent pool.
You are soaring flight of imagination, saturated in the movable. Removable, no excuses, you're breaking all the rules. You are brew, composed in shea butter, peppermint and honey black soap. Nas lifeline inscribed in palm, unconventional, standing 20 feet tall. You are 1969 in the syncopated. Improvisation to the metronome. You chasse too. You allow your voice to ripen before time signatures expire in measures. You origami chords. You are where 30 shakes hands with adolescents realizing you just hit puberty. Watch as red clay seeps through pores building pyramids past prime. You are prime at 44. All brass, double bass, 2 drummers, 3 electric pianos, and percussionists all saying forget it at once.
Okay, we're back. I'm Chinta Strasberg, producer of On the Case, and my guest, very special guest, is Isaac Lewis, and he is the publisher of the Voice and the North Lawndale Community News, 2 newspapers, one man. Thank you for being there and to keep news on the West Side, our news, and that's so important to me. I wanted to ask you about your reaction to the Supreme Court gutting the 1965 Civil Rights Act. How do you feel about that?
Well, things have been going pretty good with it in place. Mm-hmm. And now there's going to be some negative outcomes because it has weakened the civil rights movement. So we'll have to wait and see, because these are things that still can be changed back or improved upon. I need to see what were their reasons for weakening.
Well, to dilute our power, of course. In Tennessee, there was only one black district, and they went after that. So they won't have any blacks in Congress in Tennessee now. And blacks have been fighting back and being very boisterous in demanding in those meetings, but they didn't have the votes.
Well, they may not have had the vote then, but going forward, it can change how to get those votes back. It's like this here. When the Voting Rights Act was empowered, the other side lost something, but they hadn't give up until they've got it now where they've gained the power to gut it. So we just have to keep fighting to get it restored back. And that you have to always think, positive about things and not hopeless. And
on the negative.
And
well, I interviewed attorney Robert Patillo. He used to head the push in Atlanta. And he said that, and a lot of people don't want to hear this, but it's possible for us to regain our power if we reach out to the independents, to the white liberals, to Hispanics, and the students. We can take it back. And once we take back control, we can rewrite the 1965 Civil Rights Act and undo all the evil things that Trump has done if we stick together, if we don't give up. And I agree with you, not to remain, negative and saying and giving up and just flipping over and surrendering. I will never surrender to that kind of garbage, to that racism. And that's all there was, is racism.
Right. And once Trump is out of office, you're going to see a weakening of that power base. And the thing is to look at some of those things that cause some of those people that are on just over the fence on that side with that negativity. Find out what some of their concerns are. It's about winning back those people that help, or those types of people that have helped, because we've got generations that have come and gone, since the Civil Rights Voting Act was passed. And so you got to educate and empower a new generation or several generations of people to see what's right, and then to see what has been wrong that may be too far left. And that's what caused going too far left, has caused some people to go on that other side to the too far right. So
I
that's
don't think a lot of people understand. A lot of whites don't understand that they are victims of this too. Like Trump is against DEI, and these affirmative action programs have been most beneficial to white women
yes,
rather than to us. So he's hurt white women too, and I don't think
absolutely.
we understand that.
Well, and that's what I say. We focus on those types of things to win back those that
Yes.
populations that don't understand, to help them to understand, and not let the far left negativity overcloud some of the other more important things.
Hmm.
So they've been a master at propaganda.
Oh, they've always been that way, and they use race as the lead strategy, and people buy into that, Um, but they've always done that. They're very good at putting out misinformation,
Right.
and of course they have a lot of money, and that's another thing I'm concerned about. Trump is making more money than ever illegally while he's president. How do you feel about that? Accepting a $400 billion uh, airplane and uh, going after the president and his wife in Venezuela, and now Iran asking for the minerals, the precious minerals. He's always trying to make a deal as if he's on The Apprentice. You know, the president of the United States shouldn't be stealing ships, shouldn't be stealing oil. He's a pirate.
Yes.
Your thoughts on that?
Uh,
What should we
it's
do?
like,
How do you feel about what he has been doing? How would you grade him?
I would say too far right, and not only right because it's like it's going unchecked, and it's like what you say is if how can you be against Russia going against Ukraine if you're going now against Iran and actually is going to war, and you're changing it from what the recent a different operation so it doesn't look like war, because after 60 days a president has to get congressional approval.
He
But
never got an approval in the first place. He's broken the law.
I think in starting off you don't have to. You're just doing operations, but we can call any conflict war. He's just calling it an operation. That's the propaganda part of it that I'm looking at.
He has a new name for it. He says it's not a war, it's a skirmish. Can you believe that?
Yeah. Well, it's not an all-out war where you have troops on the ground fighting against other troops on the ground. So I guess you can call it that. Those smaller battles, they don't call it an all-out war. And I'm not a legal lawyer or a politician to know about those things. These are the things I just see here and or report about the facts to keep the community aware. And really I don't focus there because you got larger major media that covers that. I'm just a community newspaper, and I try to focus on our own individual struggles and lack of knowledge about the resources that are right here.
Mm-hmm. All right. So okay. So I'm I just don't like this president at all. I'm sorry. I've tried to be understanding, but he is bad for America. And I really don't. A lot of people say this, but I do not think he's going to serve out his whole term.
Now, being a journalist, I'd ask why you don't think he's going to serve out his whole. I think he's going to serve out his whole term, and we would just have to adjust that because we've had worse political situations in our lives. Those of us that are older, and it's since we've experienced 4 years, now we're at the back end of this current 4 years. So what we need to also be planning on how to survive the final months and years of his office, and then figure out how can we improve the rest. It's all about what more good can you do than the bad is being done.
That's true. But I have a suggestion. I don't know if you agree or not, but I think that we should have a nationwide black boycott. The best way to treat to get even, or whatever you want to call it, with the racists is to hit them in the pocket. They don't like that at all. What do you think?
No. Oh well, and as you well know, Reverend Jesse Jackson was a master class at doing that.
We miss his voice.
Yeah.
Yes. And timing is important. And I think the time now is for our black leaders to get together as one and to launch a massive economic boycott. It worked with Target, remember? It can work. Yes. We can do this. We should not flip over and surrender to anyone. That's a no-no. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And one of the things that I found out that media has been fractured with the advent of social media, and black media has been unfairly the victims of the socioeconomic climate that we have had, all throughout our lives, and not getting fair share. And so we become weaker.
We're out of time, so I want to know, how can people get in touch with you, and how much does it cost to subscribe to your newspaper?
Okay. It's a free newspaper, but if you wanted mail, it's like $1 per issue. Well, actually $1.25 because of mailing costs. And they can get in contact with me through my number, 773-576-1011. That's once again, 773-576-1011. They can also reach me by email. The newspaper for North Lawndale is NLCN1@yahoo.com. And for the Austin Voice is T-Voice News. Got to get that one out. Hold on 1 minute.
Hurry up, because we're almost out of time.
Yeah, it's tvoicenews@gmail.com. That's TVOICE news@gmail.com.
All right. Isaac Lewis, publisher of The Voice and the North Lawndale Community News. Thank you so much for being my guest on the case. Thank you so much. You're welcome.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiabonga. Senegal, jaref. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings. Okay. I don't know whether.
So what's wrong with the equipment? What are they doing to you?
Yes. Oh, Isaac, are you still there? Or you?
Yeah, I'm still here. You want me out?
No. I can see you. I'm on now. But yeah.
I don't. Maybe it's not on your end. Maybe it's my end. Maybe it's technical with this photo. But my Zooms.
Yeah, we couldn't figure out. We did everything. We could not get his camera on. So I said, well, you just have to.
Yeah, I wanted to show, copies of the newspaper.
Well, I mean, I tried to pull up what I could online, but of course, you would have been able to do it better, I'm sure. But anyway, that's okay. I mean,
it was a good show. I like your podcast. So
yeah. So next time you come on, we just to make sure your camera's working before you go and everything, and maybe we'll have some of your issues. We can upload the graphics.
And I didn't get a chance to talk about our podcast and our youth program, but you
have to come back and talk about it.
All right, Chinta, it was great talking with. This is the most I've had a conversation with you.
Yeah, same here. Same here. Won't be the last one.
Oh well, that's great. Yeah.
Power to the west side.
And power to the south side. So, and I know you're one of those people that, you have a bigger geographic space than some of those people only the south side or only the west side. So that's good. That I'm all Chicago.
That's how I feel. If we can just stop fighting each other and come together as one, we'll be a force, a huge force, but we just don't do that. I tried it with the contractors when I was at the Defender, and they told me, frankly, you ought to give up because we don't trust them. They don't trust us. They don't trust each other with the money.
Well, that's a topic within itself to talk about how greed can destroy great ideas.
I know, because all they had to do was to work as one so that they can bid on some of the big contracts like the big boys. But they wouldn't do it because they were afraid of one person or two people handling the money or making the deals. So I don't know. But I tried. I'm telling you, I did try.
Well, we're going to keep on trying. That's all I'll tell, passion always wins out in the end. When it's a better idea, just have to find the right people to push it forward.
Yeah, I had to go have a call, but I guess you all can stay as long as you like.
Okay.
But
no, we're going to sign off.
We're going to sign. Thanks, Naima.
Talk to you later.
All right. Thank you.
Naima, I'm going to call you too about a podcast opportunity. So I'm doing podcast training. Do you know about Senator Keisha Collins' Mother's Day event tomorrow?
No, where is that at?
It's over at the youth camp. I think she changed it. It's in Douglas Park this year. I'll call you later because I know you got to go, and I'll give you the information on it.
If you have a flyer, send it to us, okay?
All right, I'll do that.
Yeah. All right, thanks a lot.
All
right. See you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.